and welcome to this video presentation on Exceed Professional Accounting version 10 upgrade. The information presented in this video is the same information presented in our recent live webinar series. Our agenda will be to look at what's new in XPA version 10, the differences between Exceed 9 and 10. We'll have a look particularly at the Exceed 10 and what is required for the upgrade checklist to upgrade to this version. We'll provide a demonstration of the upgrade and we'll also talk about tips, tricks and traps. This video also is a sister video to the version 10 new enhancements and features. In that video you'll see the differences. The main differences in XPA 10 is the new report engine, which is known as Exceed 10. This report engine has significantly increased the report generation time. It will depend on system to system based on your environment. We also have the options now to output your reports to Excel, which is our present solution, and we also have PDF or XPS as options to directly output. You'll also find that the Exceed 10 is now Office 2013 compliant. We've done some vigorous rewrite and testing on the Exceed 10 functions to allow us to now be Office 2013 compliant. In fact, the whole Exceed 10 report engine is no longer a requirement to have Office at all. The new reports have been, the new Exceed engine has been rewritten in our new .NET framework, which is in line with the group's policy of future-proofing the application. In order for you to use the new Exceed 10 features, you will need to upgrade, and this is where this video will show the upgrade process for the sheets. You'll also know when we have a look at XPA 10, there is a new fresh look and feel about the application. We've got some new reports and some improvements to chart mapping, to name a few. Let's just have a quick look at the new look and feel. Let's go and open XPA. When we open, the first time that you open as part of your upgrade process, the first thing that we do suggest that you do is upgrade all your templates. So upon installing the application, all your templates need to be opened so that they can be upgraded to the XPA 10 ledger version. Your XPA ledgers, upon opening for the first time, will also be prompted for the user to upgrade these. If the practice wishes to upgrade in bulk, they can do that through the administration tool. When we have a look inside the XPA application, you'll notice a new fresh look and feel on the icons. We also have some new reports available in the tool selector. Activity by entry type, and you can view the report. This report would be useful when you've used chart mapping, for example, to import transactions from third party. They would normally come in through bank statements. If we had bank statements, they will be appearing as a separate column. They would be all your original entries. Journals then are used for the entries that you do to make adjustments. So this report would be good to determine, well, what are the journals that need to happen to send back to the client to adjust their third-party software. Other improvements, as I said, the video goes through those, but chart mapping, we've listened to feedback. When you open chart mapping, you no longer have your file automatically created in your maintenance list. For full enhancements and features, please refer to the video and the release notes. Let's now focus on Exceed 9 and Exceed 10. As part of the upgrade, we have the new report engine. Different versions of Exceed may appear on your workstations depending on what versions you have installed. They might also look slightly different depending on what versions of Office you're running. So we can see here we've got XPA 9.3, could be running Exceed version 8 or 9. In XPA 10, the options are to be running in XPA 9, which is the same as 8, as your business as usual, or you can upgrade to use the new Exceed 10. For those of you familiar with Exceed may notice that the columns A, B, C, D are slightly different with this new Exceed version. If we have a look at the function changes from Exceed 9 to version 10, we can see on the left-hand side, Exceed 9 functions have a category, Exceed accounts, and various different categories. Each category then has functions. Whereas in version 10 of Exceed, there is just one category called XPA functions. All the functions have a prefix of the preceding category and then the function. This will make things a lot easier for people to review if they're writing their own Exceed sheets. A full listing of all the new Exceed 10 functions are available in the appendix to the release notes. All items that are new will have an asterisk on the right-hand side. As part of the upgrade of the Sheets process, it will upgrade the functions from the old function to the new function. From our testing of the upgrade process, the new functions are less forgiving than the old functions. In the old functions, if you've written your own report and hadn't followed the complete process of that function and had skipped a step, the report is still generated. When we upgrade to Exceed 10, that step that you may have skipped will not be as forgiving. It will produce an Exceed error. So as part of the upgrade process, we have advised an upgrade log so that we can review what these issues are. So let's now have a look at the XPA 10 upgrade checklist. Firstly, have you got your designated XPA champion? Is the champion familiar with the XPA masters? So the XPA masters are your sheets and your templates. If it's no to one of those or both of those questions, then we suggest that you contact Reckon to help either upskilling people for the champion role or get APS to help assist with the upgrade process. Once we've got the right people doing the upskilling or are available to complete the process, the next item is to identify what version of the XP Masters the practice is on. We recommend highly that you should be on the 2014 Masters release or 2015 Masters release. The reason for this is all the functions in the upgrades have been vigorously tested on the 2014 Masters. Whilst we think that our Masters from previous years will upgrade okay, we cannot guarantee that we've tested every single year and every version of the Masters. So therefore, to limit any upgrade issues, we suggest you're on the current Masters release. If you're not sure on how to upgrade to the current Masters release, we also suggest you contact us at Reckon so that we can either upskill or assist you in that upgrade process. Before we get going into the actual rest of the checklist, the other functions that we need to have a look at as part of the upgrade is the Joe admin security settings. This is to do with the security for the users and the access rights. In the Exceed reporting menu within Joe admin, you'll note that there are now 3 output options for allow access to Exceed. Allow Exceed 9 access will be enabled by default as the default version of Exceed. So therefore, if the upgrade proceeded through IT to upgrade your database and install the application, all users will be able to access XPA and work as normal as they have been doing in their prior versions. Exceed 10 is the second part of the process. Exceed 10 allows you new functions with Exceed. It allows you the opportunities of practice to run job streams quicker, and it also allows you to take advantage of Office 2013 if you've started to roll that out. To enable users to have access to Exceed 10, there's 2 elements to it. One, you can just give users access to run the Exceed 10 job streams, which is the minimum requirement. The second item is to allow access to the Exceed 10 design. That enables users the full access to the Exceed ribbon. I'm going to show you the Exceed ribbon now in case you're not familiar with this. The best way to open Exceed is to open it from the Exceed access icon on your toolbar. Just close our chart map and you can open that here. I've allowed myself access to use both Exceed 10 and Exceed 9. In this example, you would set up the users to have access to both, being your champion users, so that you can test the upgrade process. All your other users are using Exceed 9 and business as normal. When you open Excel, you will see Exceed 9 has these menu options. If you've been importing data in workpapers and creating your own workpapers, you'll be familiar with these formats. With Exceed 10, you may need to open Exceed. The functions of Exceed 10 have been opened up to make items more accessible. We'll have a look through some of the options of these in a moment. The other thing that you'll notice in Exceed 10, we've introduced what we call the task pane. The task pane allows those users that write and report the Exceed functions better access to information and also more convenient access to functions. All of the items in the task pane are also available in the ribbon. So for the champion users to start, we would suggest that they have access to all the Exceed functions. The second element of access that you will need to review is the system and user settings. Within the system and user settings in the system area, there is the XPA_Exceed function. You'll notice that there is version 10 options. The Exceed output options by default has a 0, meaning it's going to use Excel. The other options here is to change this to use PDF directly or XPS directly, bypassing Excel altogether. These options may be useful if you do not want users to have any editing rights over the output of the sheets. The second flag is the Exceed version flag. As we suggested earlier, the default on the upgrade is to have a 2, which means it's only available for version 9 users of Exceed. This means that if you would need to change this for your initial test, we suggest you update to 3 for the champion users to be able to have access to both version 9 and version 10. The rest of the users are using version 9 while you're undergoing your internal testing of your upgrade of your sheets. Once all your testing has been completed and you're happy, then we would recommend to changing this flag back to 1 so everybody is just using version 10. So, we now need to go and start reviewing our sheets. When the process here, we need to review if there was any XPA sheet customizations. If we have a look at our XPA Sheets folder, which is available from your practice setup, I have a Sheets folder, and what I'm looking for here is if there is any customizations. There may be different ways that this might be displayed. You could have in your Sheets folder, you may have a subdirectory that's called Custom Sheets, and in that directory you may have a customization log and the sheets, a copy of the sheets that have been changed. Sometimes these customizations do reside in the actual Sheets directory itself. So if they reside in the actual Sheets directory, the easiest way to tell would be have a looking at the date modified. If you're using the latest 2014 Masters in Australia, you'll see the date here is all the same date. If I look at date modified, and I go back to the top here, you'll see that I have some different sheets with some different dates. If I'm not sure if these changes have been done, one way you could also see if there's any modifications that you've completed is to actually open the sheet. Typically, if an APS or a Reckon person has helped assist with the upgrade, we've always recommended in highlighting the cells in A and B if there was any changes. Also have a comment to say what was changed. So there might be some telltale signs if you've got any customizations. The other thing that we can note from this directory is whether you are running the latest version of the masters. In this case we are, so we wouldn't need to upgrade all of these sheets individually. There's 490 odd in the Australian Masters release. So we could go and grab the software folder that has the new Exceed 10 version of these sheets. The new version of the sheets will be Microsoft Excel binary worksheets. Let's now have a look at the demonstration process of how we actually go about upgrading our sheets. The first step in the process is that we need to open our Exceed. We're going to open that in Exceed 10. Exceed 10, we will open Exceed and we will see in the Tools ribbon that we have Upgrade. There are two options for your upgrade. You can select individual workbooks to upgrade, or you could select a folder and upgrade them all. In this example, I'll show both. If I browse, I can have a look at our Sheets folder, our Custom Sheets folder, and I can select individual sheets to upgrade. It will tell me that I have two files selected. Alternatively, I could select the folder. The next option you need to do is you need to select the folder to save the upgraded workbooks to. In this case, we're going to create a new folder called Custom Sheets version 10 Upgrade. We also have the opportunity to adjust margins. At this stage, we will leave the margins as they are and select Upgrade. The upgrade process should take around 10 to 15 seconds per sheet. That time may vary depending on your system. As part of the upgrade process, a copy of the sheet is being made to your Sheets folder. So nothing is actually happening on your live system. The sheets are copied and then they are upgraded. Upon completion of the upgrade process, we will see an upgrade log. Once the upgrade's finished, you won't see anything in the Exceed 10 item. We will now proceed to have a look at the upgrade log. Opening our Sheets directory, we can have a look at our Custom Sheets. You can see here we have a Custom Sheets Upgrade 10 folder. And in here is a copy of the original sheet and the new version, which is the binary worksheet. Because I upgraded everything in the log, it's also upgraded my log file, which didn't need to happen. That's okay. In here we have upgrade log, and it will tell us what it's done as part of that upgrade process. So the cover main sheet was upgraded, the cover PG sheet was upgraded, and then it was upgrading the customization log. If there was errors in here, the person that has created the Exceed custom reports should need to review that and update the Exceed function. If the reports have got error logs and your champion user is not familiar with how to update the actual errors to the sheet, then please log a support call where our support team will assist. In order for the sheets that have been upgraded to work, you will need to copy the binary workbooks back into your main sheet directory. That can be done by selecting either all of these and replacing in your custom sheet folder. You shouldn't need to replace the ones that are exactly the same, as it hasn't done anything to those files, so we could skip that. And it's just going to put in your binary sheets. It's important to note that the binary workbook sheets need to be put into the files directory before they will work for Exceed 10. In here I have my sheets directory and I only have 461 items. Because I've determined that I am using the 2014 masters, I can copy those masters from the installation CD and don't have to run the upgrade myself on all these sheets. I'll do that now. Once I've copied all those sheets in, you'll now notice that I have twice the amount of sheets in there. The other thing that you'll need to refer to our release notes about is if you've started to use the style sheets. If you've started to use the style sheets, please refer to the release notes on how to update your macro-enabled worksheet for the new XLSB version for the style sheet. So let's come back and review the checklist. We reviewed to see if we had any XPA sheet customizations. We also ensured that the users performing the upgrade test had access to Exceed 10 in both the Joe rights and system and user settings. Those champion users will go ahead and perform the sheets upgrade. They will review the sheets upgrade log and see if there is any issues that need to be identified and corrected before testing. Our next option is to review the sheet outputs. So we're going to go back into XPA and complete this. So within a ledger, we will go into the reporting option. If you've just upgraded to the latest masters, it's also important to remember that your users will need to refresh the financial reporting fields. If they needed refresh, the user would be prompted. The Exceed running of the job streams inside the reports have not changed. Within here, if I click Run for my job stream, the only difference I see at the moment is this Exceed version 10. Because I'm a user that has access to both Exceed 9 and 10, I get to choose which version I run. If I have access to both, by default it's turned on. We've allowed this ability so that the user that is testing the sheets can run the job stream in version 9 and then run the job stream in version 10 to see if there's any major differences. We press OK, you'll notice some minor changes in the visuals that you see as you're running the job streams. Depending on your computer and the resources available to run the job streams, we expect that the Exceed 10 job stream will run quicker than the Exceed 9. So following lets us review hints, tips and traps. Knowledge article number 10000 has known issues since limited release build was packaged. That can be accessed from the MyAPS portal. There is one issue in relation to the tag sets that is included with the install build that your IT team will have rolled out. If there's any further issues as we progress, then they will also be related back to this article. Please refer to this as your first point of call. Office 2013 workstations or application servers. As part of the installation notes, it was very clear in a section in there for Office 2013 workstations. The prerequisite is to have PM 9.1.4 Office 2013 hotfixes, or if you haven't got those installed, we recommend you upgrade to PM 9.1.5 before you install XPA 10. This should be available from your from your release champions. Another Office 2013 component, if the only version of Office is 2013, it does require Microsoft Data Access Component 12. These are also available in the links in the installation notes. Office 2013 users can only use Exceed 10. If you don't upgrade the sheets, the Joe rights and the subsettings, users will not be able to run the reports. Desktop installs of Office 365 are compatible with Exceed 10, but not when they are browser-based versions. If you have problems with not being able to open the Exceed ribbon in your toolbar, one of the options may be on the first install, you may need to close and reopen. You may see the Open Exceed item that I showed in the web presentation. You may need to open that. Alternatively, if it's a brand new version of Office installed, please ensure that the macro settings are set to low so that you can see the ribbon. There are known exceed issues and they're detailed on pages 21 and 22 for compatibility. One of these is to do with around justified paragraph. If you've created your own exceed sheets and are using justified paragraph, there will be some changes that you would need to refer to in page 21 and 22. As we also mentioned, it's important that you upgrade your templates to the XPA 10 file format before you start running reports. Finally, have you registered to get the software? XPA 10 is now a limited release. It's limited in terms of staging for our support team to help support you in the transition and the change. To be able to register, please go to this website and request your copy to register for the software to receive the software. If you have any further questions or answers that we need to assist you with, please contact us at the Reckon support team. Thank you very much for your time today.